Hello ladies and gents, my name is Joshua Greathouse and I am the owner of Blue Tempest Games. At Blue Tempest Games, we try and create unique and fun games for game nights with families and friends. This video will explain how to play our newest board game, Rhythmal. Deep within Rhythmal Castle's walls, there lays a throne room of gold. Many have tried traversing the maze-like rooms, but none have returned to tell the tale. Will you be the one to reach the treasure and make it out before one of your comrades snatches it first? This game is for those 8 and up, and it should only take up to 30 minutes to play. Setup. Place the board game in the middle of the table. Shuffle the event cards. Place the cards next to the board. Deal out a 10 gold card to each player, and then shuffle the treasure cards. Place the deck next to the event cards, leaving space for a discard pile. Place the die next to the game board. Grab the 2 starter tiles, and place one on the first square next to the bridge, and the next to the throne room. Next, place all tiles in the bag and shake them up. Each player chooses their wooden player piece and places it on the bridge. Now you're ready to start the game. Alert! We advise keeping the small components away from toddlers and babies as they may choke on the contents of the game. How to play. The objective of the game is to reach the throne room and make it back to the bridge. The oldest player goes first, and player order proceeds clockwise around the table. On your turn, you can move up to 3 spaces either horizontally or vertically. If the player moves onto an empty square, draw a random tile from the bag and place it on that square. If the tile has a circular star in the corner, the player draws an event card and follows its instructions. For example, player 1 walks from the bridge to the starter tile and decides to walk up. They grab a tile from the bag and must place it with at least one direction pointing to an empty square. The two-way turn tile they drew must be placed pointing to the right, as it would hit a wall pointing to the left. The symbol at the bottom tells them to draw an event card. The trap card is drawn. The player would read the text out aloud. As you take your next step, you press a pressure plate. Immediately a net falls from the ceiling, holding you to the ground. Lose 1 turn. The player would then keep this card in front of them until their next turn, where they would discard the card and lose their turn. Important notes to keep in mind. If the tile is unable to be placed with an open end, the player draws a new piece. If that piece can't be placed as well, then the tile is laid down as a dead end. If there are no more open spaces in the entire maze, then the game is over and treasure is counted. Sometimes an event card can tell a player to draw a treasure card. Treasure cards are the way to win the game. The person with the most treasure wins at the end of the game. There are different ways to collect and lose treasure cards. When a player lands on the same tile as another player, they duel. The 2 players pick even or odd. The die is then rolled by the player who first resided on the square, and if the die matches the picked numbers of one of the players, they win the duel. The losing player must give a treasure card given at random to the other player, and is then kicked to a connecting square by the winner's choice. If there ever is 3 players on a square, then 2 numbers are picked by each player. When the first player reaches the throne room, they are given 2 treasure cards. When the second player reaches the room, they get 1 treasure card. Anyone else will receive nothing for being too late. Once a player reaches the throne room, a few things happen. They gain said treasure cards, and then all tiles are removed from the board except for the starter tile, and tiles that other players are standing on. The player at the throne room loses a turn, as it takes a while to steal the treasure. Once a player has made it to the throne room and back to the bridge, the game ends. The player to reach the bridge is given an honorary treasure card for escaping Rhythmal Castle. Each player reveals their treasure cards and then counts up the totals. The player with the most gold wins. And that is how you play Rhythmal. A game of luck and a little bit of strategy. If you have questions on the rules or suggestions on what more we could include, please leave a comment or send us an email. I hope you liked this video, and I hope that you enjoy our new game. Feel free to subscribe to our channel to receive more updates on future games.